banks, it's very sexy when you close a deal with the bank, and we do that sometimes, but they're very slow movers. They're very slow to execute. They're very conservative. They're never going to be Ripple success stories. And it's hard to get them to push the benefits down to their customers because that's risky for them. And then it highlights where they're inefficient. So we focused a lot on banks in the beginning just because a press release with a bank is a big thing, but we discovered they're just very slow to move. Like if all they want is a press release, now we're like, hey, we want to actually move billions of dollars now. And they're like, yeah, we kind of don't.
What is up, good people? Jungle Link here. Hope you're doing well. That clip to open the video is David talking about, well, for some time now, Ripple has pivoted away from banks. When we hear they've signed a new deal, they're doing Ripple payments for someone, it's not so much banks anymore, it's more MTOs and SME type of payments. David has a lot of reasoning, but you could clearly see that pivot. In the past, partners were Bank of America, Santander, American Express even. And now it's the Bitsos and the FOMO Pays and people like this. Why is that? Wanted to discuss that here a little bit. Why we're seeing more money transmitters rather than just simply banks. And David gives us some reasons that banks are slow to move and they're cautious and they don't like to push savings down to their customers. That one really doesn't make a lot of sense for me. What does Ripple care what a bank does with their savings, right? They just want them to use their service, be, Ripple Pay customers using their software solutions. It's none of their business what a bank does with their savings, if they push it down to customers or not. That's kind of a ridiculous thing here. From the launch of XRP to On-Demand Liquidity and now Ripple Payments, what we know is this: it's a building process. That, in fact, a lot of times it is not cheaper to use Ripple Pay services. Why is that? Well, first of all, you have double the trades. You have to go from fiat to XRP and then XRP to fiat. You also have price differences in markets. There's no global standard pricing for XRP. Even in the same currency, it can be different on various exchanges. And then lastly, there's just not enough liquidity yet. XRP does not have the global liquidity to probably support one bank, no less like all of the banks. Not yet. That's okay. It's a building process, but that's just the reality. We saw MoneyGram was using it for one corridor, and they were losing money. It's just not going to work yet. And so in reality, these money transmitters, well, they're willing to play the game. They're willing to, all right, we'll lose money, but Ripple will reimburse us, and they'll pay us a little extra cash on top to help build out this system. Bank of America, they're not going to play that game. Wells Fargo, all these various banks, JP Morgan Chase, they're not going to play this game. Now, Bank of America CEO has said, look, we'd rather burn the cash and just print new cash because we spend $4 billion a year moving money around. Like, they want a new system, but we're just not there. And that's the reality. Banks are not slow to move. Most banks pay a lot of money. Yeah, a few are sitting there collecting fees, but that's abnormal. That's not the norm. That's your big, massive banks. Everyone else is getting bled dry. And so the good news is, when we get to that point where it is more efficient all of the time to send payments in this manner, they're going to be willing to use it. They'll use it in a second. Almost everyone will flip over to that. But it's a game of scale. Can you get the scale? That's the test. I think stablecoins are going to help Ripple a lot, leveraging that more, because at least early on, that's going to be the easier, more efficient way to send payments. Those stablecoins will add a lot of on-chain liquidity to the XRP ledger. And now there's a lot more interesting stuff you can do with XRP as a bridge currency. The truth is, Ripple Pay just simply isn't ready for banks and payments at that scale. But neither is anyone else. No other blockchain has the capacity to process all those payments, the liquidity to do so. This is the same path for everyone. XRP Ledger, still a leader in payments. Ripple, still a leading blockchain technology company. We still got a fighting chance here, but you got to go out there and you got to build and you got to grow this network and you got to get more adoption. And we'll see liquidity and value rise of XRP over time if we're successful doing that, coupled with a lot of other use cases we see emerging on the XRP Ledger as a trading hub, as an NFT platform, as an area for institutional DeFi, and if we get smart contracts of some capacity, maybe just DeFi in general. There's a lot of areas that can build out and complement each other. I think the truthful answer is, though, Ripple and the XRP Ledger are just not ready for banks or payments of that scale. Not yet. That's my opinion. Big scandal right now. MrBeast, the biggest YouTuber in the world, he's being accused of being involved in a pump and dump crypto operation, which might have earned him, according to Chain Analysis, as much as $23 million since 2021. I can't imagine this, to be honest with you. You have someone of that stature making that kind of money, getting involved in something like this. Again, the blockchain is permanent. The record is there forever. How could you do something like this? But the investigation is being led by Sama XBT and supported by other blockchain experts, and they claim that MrBeast or his team utilize over 50 crypto wallets to buy, promote, and then sell specific tokens for a profit. The biggest of which is some token called Superverse. I don't know anything about this, but they claim that he made $7.5 million in a single month over this Superverse token. Absolutely wild. We'll follow this as it goes forward. I don't know the validity of these claims, but there's some pretty big investigators and blockchain analysts that are saying that happened. We'll see what MrBeast has to say about it. The Atlantic is reporting that it doesn't matter who wins this election, the crypto industry is poised for potential deregulation, with major political contributions and lobbying influencing the U.S. election. Both candidates have shown openness to crypto, again to varying degrees here, of course. Trump has pledged to make the U.S. a crypto hub. Fire SEC Chairman Gary Gensler. That ain't going to be necessary. Gary Gensler ain't looking to work under a Trump administration, I can guarantee you that. And lastly, to create a Bitcoin stockpile, I can almost guarantee you that ain't going to happen, because what are we going to buy the Bitcoin with? Like, where's the money going to come from? I think that's just one of those things he throws out there. Either way, he's been very vocal, very open about his support of the crypto space, because he knows it's a hot button topic. You can pick up some voters, of course. Now, Harris has been vocal about supporting digital asset innovation, particularly regarding minority investors, though her stance is much more cautious. Again, not an area she's leaning on, really speaking openly on. But I think we see where things are. Your BlackRocks are involved, your Fidelities, your big players. Like, it may be slow, but it's going to be a better environment year after year. It just depends on what's our path to eventual regulations. And that's why we see all the spending on the congressional races, because they're the ones that are going to write and pass these laws, even though the president will set the tone for a lot of these enforcement agencies. We'll see it play out. Someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. Crypto will go on. Payments.com reporting that Coinbase has partnered with Visa to enable real-time deposits for customers using eligible Visa debit cards through their Visa Direct network. This is kind of a big deal. You know, if you want to get money on these platforms now when the moment arises, sometimes it's tough to get a significant amount of money, over to Coinbase or over to, some other trading platform. That's why a lot of times you got to keep some stables, or you got to keep some cash on hand ready to rock and roll, because you never know when the moment arises, and it can take some time to transfer onto these platforms. This can help with that. This integration allows Coinbase users to instantly transfer funds to their account, enhancing their ability to capitalize on trading opportunities. This partnership is part of Coinbase's broader initiative to expand crypto use and business transactions, particularly through its Coinbase Prime brokerage. These are the pain points that'll go away in time. In a long time ago, a deal between Visa and Coinbase would be unheard of. In the modern era, it's not going to set the world on fire, but I think it shows where we're going. This is going to continue to be more integrated, and no matter how fast a blockchain is, no matter how great an exchange is, it's all about integrating with traditional finance, because you want funds to be able to get onto the blockchain quickly, and of course, when you need those funds, to be able to cash out to the real world when it's necessary. So the more of these pain points that they solve, the more useful crypto becomes. The last thing I want to talk about, there was a private, Patreon group or private YouTube group of Zach Rector's. He put out a video. Let me see the title of it. It was titled ATM. That's the meme coin that Dirk from Expector put out. Major pump operation exposed. Now, I'm a big fan of Dirk and everything they're doing over at Expector, but that's not really what riles me up. In this video, he names one influencer only. A lot of people were tweeting out, even myself. I don't even own any of this ATM coin. I've never bought it. I've never sold it. I was excited to see Dirk, jumping in here and getting involved. I was tweeting too, but that doesn't agitate me. Dirk can handle his own side of things and put out the reality. But he keeps bringing up Crypto Eddie in this video. That maybe, what other reason would you bring her up other than the claim that she's involved in this crypto pump and dump group? And he makes the following quotes. A tip went out beforehand, essentially saying influencers and people knew of this coin launch before it was launched. And secondarily, Dirk sent me a message, basically insinuating Dirk sent him some information beforehand. I got the same message Zach did, and what it was is there was a public post that went out to everyone that the coin had launched. So the public got informed first, and then Dirk sent that out to people like Zach Rector and people like myself, and I posted that on X today so everyone could read it. It's the inverse of inside information. The influencers were told after the public, and in this private group, he's making it sound like he got some really valuable information. I know because I saw a copy of it. He got the same thing I did. He's so full of it. And again, Dirk and Expector and this meme coin, they can handle this stuff themselves. But to even bring up Crypto Eddie's name and this type of thing, she's as honest as they come. She's not going to rug pull people. She's not going to promote something and then, sell it to profit off the people that follow her. He should be ashamed of himself. After being confronted with this on X, Zach backtracked and said, well, I was just looking at the charts. Fine, in your video, say your great charting ability, the same charting ability that told you that XRP was going to go to $1,800 or $40,000 or all of that. Your charting ability told you this was a pump and dump. Because look, I'm not part of the team. I don't know what happened, but I don't need to know what happened with Crypto Eddie. I can tell you right now, she was not fed any inside information that she profited from. That's nonsense. That's stupid. And I challenge Zach Rector to please, because the people that saw that video, they know what you said and they know what you're insinuating. Post your private messages. Show the world what this Dirk messaged me too, and I'm sure I'm not going to get this information again. It literally is a copy of the public post that just went out to everyone. Maybe this guy should stick to his red folders instead of attacking Crypto Eddie. To me, it's absolutely shameful. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.